Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Weekly Chat. Today we do our part one deep dive into commercial and office space development in the downtown core of Toronto and why this is a massive plus for your investment condos. Talk to you soon. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Weekly Chat. Alex Wilson here, team lead, alexshaywilson.com, and as always Kyle DeVigi, Director of Operations for Remax Wealth Builders Real Estate. So last week we celebrated the Raptors championship, told the athletes that they need to buy condos in the city, invest their money in real estate. And this week we're back to regularly scheduled programming and continuing on talking about office development. So we left off saying that office vacancy rates in Toronto were at all-time lows at 2.6%. And we wanted to show you that all the development that's happening isn't just condos, it's also office space as well. Where we're at all-time lows for residential vacancy, we have the same thing for office space. So those cranes in the air represent both residential and commercial. So we wanted to dig down deeper and show you what's coming up in these office towers, because these office towers represent high paying jobs, and these high paying jobs are the individuals that are going to live in your investment condos and pay the high rents. Because we've had conversations, Cal, we've had people come from outside of the core in your suburban areas, and they can't wrap their head around, well, how is this person going to pay this rent? And our response is they just are, and it's just not a satisfactory response.
No, it doesn't go over well most of the time.
They still can't wrap their head around it. Some individuals. So we wanted to show how this development's coming in and all the stuff that's coming up, and again the jobs that go with that. So, looking here, we've seen the downtown Toronto office vacancy rate peak in the mid sevens in 2010 and then drop to where we are at 2.6% today. So there's a great website, City of Toronto website. You can see it right here. This actually lists all of the office development, or actually not just office developments, all the non-residential projects currently under construction and that are proposed in all of Toronto. So this also includes any infrastructure projects, any hospital development, all of the non-residential components investment-wise. Great resource. And it was really ended up being a rabbit hole for me as I dug deeper and deeper to see how much development is happening non-residential wise. Because Kyle and I, we have our heads like an ostrich in the sand looking at residential. We catch the headlines of office development, but haven't done that deep search. So we already discussed this is going to be a two-part episode. This one we're just literally highlighting all the office development. The next episode we're going to actually do a deeper dive, show you the companies that are going into these spaces and how the net positive gain of these high-paying jobs of the downtown core. So that'll be coming. But today we're just going to talk about all the office space that's coming on and the anchor tenants that are going in them. So office space under construction right now, there's 7.8 million square feet of office space currently under construction, 13 total projects. And in total, Toronto has 15.9 million square feet of office space in the pre-construction stage. So another 29 projects. So again, these are the projects that the people living in your condos, they're going to be working in these buildings. On top of that, retail construction, $681 million under retail construction in the city. Creative spaces, another $180 million. This includes the revitalization of Massey Hall, academic research, medical, and health. We have a world-class healthcare. Our hospitals here in Toronto, we have the hospital district on University Avenue right downtown, and it is world renowned. I'm personally involved in the charitable side with the hospitals. It's amazing what they're doing there. And there's over $2 billion currently being invested to expand current facilities and construct new facilities. I think we saw recently the headlines, but just last week, where the founder of Mattamy Homes, Peter Gilligan, is it Gilligan?
Sure.
Okay, sorry, Peter. But he's investing $100 million into sick kids. I know that he made a massive donation to St. Joe's as well. Sick Kids is also expanding. They're looking at adding nearly 500,000 square feet of non-residential gross square footage in their building as well. So it's massive investment, not just on the residential, commercial, but also for our institutions as well. U of T, I think, is doing a major new campus right at a major new building right at university and college. Lots of things that are coming up. Centralized, where, Kyle?
Toronto,
and in the core. The core is the center of the universe. Wherever you're investing, you want to make sure that you can access the core. So we're just going to jump in now and just talk about all the buildings that are coming up. So we have 25 Ontario Street. That's by First Golf. This is a 24-story building, adding 460,000 square feet of office space. That's going on the east end, so King East area by the new Globe and Mail office tower. So you're more looking Parliament and King area, and your anchor tenants there, Think Research, which is a leading digital healthcare platform. So on that technology-based side, The Well, which recently launched condos this past weekend. Massive office development going in the corner of Front and Spadina. 1 million square feet of office space, 38 floors in this building. And your anchoring tenants there, Shopify, which is taking up nearly half of the building, and Index Exchange going into that tower. I didn't even know this there's a phase 3 of the Bay Adelaide Centre. Oh, wow. So Bay Adelaide Centre, you're right at Bay and Adelaide, of course. This is by Brookfield. I didn't mention The Wells by Allied Properties, and I think I mentioned 25 Ontario Streets by First Golf, Great Golf Developments. So phase 3 of the Bay Adelaide Centre, that's by Brookfield. That's adding 900,000 square feet of office space right in the heart of our financial district. And the anchor tenant there, surprise, surprise, is the bank. It's Scotiabank. Scotiabank's anchoring that one. Smaller project here, but I thought it was really cool. 80 Atlantic Avenue. This is in Liberty Village. This is Toronto's first all-timber office space, it's just a small 5-story building, but adding 80,000 square feet. And the anchor tenant here, this one's 100% leased already, Universal Music. And why I bring that up, this is one of the companies that is leaving a suburban-like area at Victoria Park and Shepherd and moving their office space downtown. Then we have the big boy. This is the biggest one being built, CIBC Square. This is 2 buildings going up on Bay Street. It's actually going to straddle over the tracks. One's going to be on the north side where the GO bus terminal is. They're rebuilding that right by Union Station, and the other side will just be on the south side of the tracks. And they're building a rail deck park over top. This is not the rail deck park that you read about proposed-wise. This is actually being built between the 2 buildings, and it'll connect park space between the 2 buildings. These buildings are 49 and 50 stories, adding 2.9 million square feet of office space. CIBC is consolidating their entire workforce into the building, 15,000 staff into these towers, and Microsoft Canada is moving their head office from Mississauga into that space. So again, leaving a suburban area, concentrating those high-paying jobs to the downtown core. You have 160 Front Street by Cadillac Fairview. This is a newer one that was just announced and starting construction, adding 1.2 million square feet. This is going at Simcoe and Front Street, that empty parking lot by Joe Badali's, or what was Joe Badali's, right by Jack Astor's down there. And the anchor, that's by Cadillac Fairview, I think I mentioned. And your anchor tenant is the Ontario Teachers Pension Plan. They're moving from their head office in North York, moving downtown. 16 York Street, also by Cadillac Fairview. This is under construction as well, above ground. well under construction, 33 stories, 870 square feet, 870,000 square feet. And HSBC has been announced as the anchor tenant for this building. They're taking office space there. 65 King Street East. This is by Carterra. That continued expansion on the east end wise. You have 400,000 square feet of office space, and Google has been sniffing around looking at taking office space in that building as they continue to expand their footprint in the Toronto area. Continuing on, we have 1 Yonge Street by Pinnacle Developments. 1 Yonge is right at Yonge and Queens Quay. The massive Pinnacle development, which has a massive residential component as well. I think it will have the tallest residential structure when completed wise, and that is adding 1.658 million square feet of office space right at the base of the lake, right at Yonge Street. Continuing on, 55 Lakeshore Boulevard East by Menkes, a 25-story building, 865,000 square feet of office space. That's anchored by the LCBO. That's the LCBO site. So where you have those old brick buildings, those are coming down. There's a residential component going in there, but there's also office space going in as well. And there's a lot of development happening along that Queens Quay east space. So we started at 1 Yonge, then we're moving over to the next site, which is, we just talked about 55 Lakeshore, 100 Queens Quay, goes by both addresses. Then we have Daniels Waterfront. That's occupying now. That building is already complete. That's added 280,000 square feet of office space. Anchored by Core Architects and also House of Cool. House of Cool is one of the world's leading animation studios. So again, animation-wise, digital, technology-wise, getting those high-paying tech jobs in Toronto. Continuing on, we have 155 Queen Street East. This is the Waterfront Innovation Center by Menkes. Anchor tenants there. The global e-commerce, advertising, online media, public relations, communication, and branding conglomerate, WPP. They're the anchor tenants going into that space. So continuing along that Queens Quay area, we also have the Bayside community, which is going to be adding 400,000 square feet of space. That's continuing farther down, getting towards the Parliament Queens Quay area. And then once you get into that area, now you're getting the Sidewalk Labs territory, which is the sister company to Google, and talking about building smart cities and more office space proposed and developed along there. Not that I have this in my notes, but we all know how excited I am for the East Harbor development. So that's continuing on to the other side of the DVP, adding over 50,000 jobs, massive office development wise. That's proposed, continuing that East style development that's continuing over there. Proposed sites, so these have recently been proposed. You have Union Center by Adelaide and Westbank. That made the headlines a few months ago. Allied Properties has been working on the site since 2014. Station Street, which actually is a privately owned street, which it's Simcoe to York. Yes, it connects Simcoe to York. If you're walking on the Skywalk, which connects Union Station to Skydome, Rogers Center, there's that little street there. That's a privately owned street, and they're putting 1 million square feet of office space there. Bjork Ingels, a world famous architect, really cool building they're looking at doing there with this sky forest on top of the building. And then you have the Hub by Oxford Properties, 30 Bay Street, 1.4 million square feet of office space. And that's going where you have the Harbor 60 site, that massive piece of land. So another 2.4 million right there, really right around the corner from each other. And then you also have the 2.9, which is across the street over at CIBC Square, which is well under construction. So massive development happening all within the core of Toronto, adding all this office space and attracting these high caliber tenants, which I mentioned. We will dig a deeper down, talk to you more about all the different companies that are coming in, to show you the companies that are coming in, the net gain of jobs that we're getting, and the type of salaries that we're looking at getting with these individuals, because ultimately these are the people that are going to be paying your high rents. And because people can't get from point A to point B in the city, people want to work in the downtown core because it's easily accessible, and they want to live close to where they work, because the most reliable form of transportation are these two legs. Anything else, Kyle, should I?
Well, I think it sounds a bit scary, actually, that we're adding millions of square feet of commercial, real estate, and it sounds like the market is going to be flooded here. But I guess the thing to keep in mind is that the vast majority of this space is already leased, even though it's not even built yet.
Oh yeah, we are well below historic norms for office vacancy rates. I would actually have to Google to see what a healthy vacancy rate for office development is, but we're at 2.6. So even if you get flooded wise and that number creeps up, which it will creep up when you add that much inventory on, you will creep up, and it will take time to absorb that office space onto the market wise. But all you're just going to is now a more stable, sustainable number with office vacancy rates. So yeah, there will be a ton of product coming onto the market wise, but these are also very well funded developments backed by pension funds. So there isn't a worry about cancellations or anything like that. So I'm not scared about the amount of office development coming in. You probably will have a softness of lease rates at some point, maybe 4 to 5 years in the future as these buildings come on. You may have an issue in absorption wise, but it's all a good thing. And also when you look at the majority of these buildings, they have already signed their office tenants. They have secured their tenants for these buildings. So it really isn't that much of a concern for me. Will there be softness in the future? Most likely, but that just leads to a healthier market, because it's not like we're soft and then going into, okay, now we have all of this building coming on. That's more of a Calgary situation, which was under soft circumstances, and then you had all this development going on, and then you got hit hard with the oil patch and everything like that. We're not in that situation at all. Anything else?
No.
Okay, so stay tuned. Topic, not phase 2, topic number 2, part 2. Part 2 of our deep dive into office development and the jobs that are attached to these offices. So if you're looking at investing in Toronto, reach out to us. Contact at alexjwilson.com or call me. We can do a portfolio review for you or teach you how to start your own portfolio. Looking forward to helping you make your financial dreams come true, build financial freedom, and help you gain generational wealth. Okay, guys, talk soon. Bye-bye.